Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. What's up, wrestling fans, trading card collectors, back again, another week, another episode going strong. And this is another one of those episodes that started off as Tony's topic. And when I saw it, I got fired up because, I mean, you know, if there's one thing that I love talking about more than anything, it's wrestling rookie cards.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't like talking about that?
So as the title stated, today we're talking about, does price equal price and popularity? That doesn't always equal rookie card. And I think for a lot of people coming into the wrestling card space, they think it does. And I think that's kind of the sports card world too. And music cards and trading card game cards, Pokemon, whatever. People always go, what is the first card? And that's cool. And it's, you know, I own a lot of first cards or quote rookie cards or pack pullable, whatever. But in my collection, a lot of those cards aren't the most valuable, or maybe they are, or maybe they're not my favorite, but they're kind of in the middle of a price point. So I think that's something we need to talk about today and kind of set the record straight and talk about this from all different angles, because there are different scenarios where the rookie cards are more valuable and more sought after. There are scenarios where that's not the case. And then there are scenarios where there's kind of this middle ground. So before we get diving into some cards and some philosophies, what were you thinking when you came up with this idea to talk?
Like everything else, I send you text messages on a whim sometimes, just out of nowhere, just because it's something that just instantly came to my mind, whether it be from reading a tweet, seeing an Instagram post, or whatever the case may be. Something comes to my mind and I go, oh shit, this might be a great idea, a topic for Worlds Collide. Like, in full transparency, I'll oftentimes go like, do I want to talk about this for WTC TV with someone, or do I want to do this with Zhan and have it as a Worlds Collide podcast? That's always the first thing that comes to my mind. It's always 100%. And I go, nope, this is 100% an excellent thing that I should talk. I'm going to talk about with Zhan anyways. Might as well make it Worlds Collide.
Sometimes I think topics are going to work better for certain platforms than they would others. So
sure. And I don't recall the reason why I did that. I sent you that text. I think maybe it's because I was seeing a lot of posts talking about, especially with Panini Prism stuff, which is obviously that particular release is going to be a topic for us for many years to come, I think. Yeah. Just because it's a controversial release in some respects. It exposed a lot of things to our hobby that this hobby has never seen before within our own hobby for those who were just wrestling card collectors. So it's just an interesting point of reference. It's the Panini Prism stuff like that. So with that came with a lot of high-end things that became like, oh, this is a 5-figure card, a $10,000 card, a $15,000 card, a $12,000 card. Confirmed or not, doesn't matter. But these are things that started conversations of like, well, just because it's a new card and it's this much, why is this card more valuable than, say, this popular card that was before, or this rookie card before it? It was just an interesting thing. I thought, like, does price or popularity make a card what it is? I don't know.
It's kind of a combination of the two, and sometimes they merge together. Yeah. Sometimes it's one or the other, and sometimes they merge. I figured this out from the sports card world. You know, look at the, you know, we've mentioned this before, the 86 Fleer Jordan. It is the card, but it's not his first card. No. It's the first pack pullable card, kind of. I mean, the star cards, I believe, came in team sets, so I don't really count those as packs. But that card is technically his first, and I think there may even be one or two others that were like non-official stuff that was out around that time. But
like how about Tiger Woods too? Like, I mean, I remember Upper Deck came out with a lot of stuff, and they were like really pushing it as like his first official, you know, official card.
Right. But then there was the Sports Illustrated for kids that's actually sold for, I think, based on the grade, and that's, we'll get into that, but I think sometimes that card has actually sold more for than the one that people are calling the rookie card. And
Sure.
this
Okay.
is, we've talked about this ad nauseum with wrestling. You've got the first example I want to pull up, 82 Hogan.
Yep.
That's kind of what people decided is, I don't even know if I want to call it a rookie card. I'm going to call it the card to own.
Well, there's
Kind
a
of
lot
the
of publications out there will tell you it's rookie card. They
right.
use the word rookie when describing this card. And that's just kind of the label it's gotten stuck with.
But as you and I both know, there's the ones before that. There's the official Topps release. But if you start going and looking at a lot of these cards, like, how many people are going to the Hogan Beach shop and getting autographs now? Like, and whether, no matter what kind of card it's on. And my kind of logic of why these 82s are sticking over most of the other Hogan stuff is because there are so many of these hand signed autographs out there. There are so many of these other numbered parallel stuff out there. Obviously, if there's a gold, there's only 10, right? But that 82 is kind of what kind of has converged on being decided as this is the card, because there's not, what do we believe, like approximately 2,000 complete sets, and we know there's probably not.
Yeah.
That's a ballpark.
A ballpark figure is about 2,000 sets. And if you're like looking at the number, the number of autographed versions of that card now that have been signed over the last, God, even year, 2 years. Would it be safe to say that 100 or 200 of those cards now have been signed?
I would say a couple hundred.
Okay. But so what, 10% of the cards have been signed now?
Right. But even 2,000, that's really small in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
Again, it's not gold out of 10, but I think, there's less of those than there are the Topps. And there maybe is less of the ones before the 82, but nobody seems to talk about them. So it's that we're kind of in this weird spot about the rookie cards. But then when you look at the bottom dollar, the two things that continue to go, like, we're going to talk Hogan. The 82 seems to always outsell nearly everything else. Now I know there's going to be variables that come out, be it a 1 of 1, a gold out of 10, like I mentioned.
Your precious metal gem.
Yeah, the precious metal gems, which, if you want to go back and talk some sports, like if you look at a lot of the comparisons between some of the Jordan rookie stuff and some of his precious metal gems, it all boils down to rarity. On, like, the precious metal gems never get very good grades. The Jordans sometimes do. So the higher grade Jordans typically will outsell a mid to lower grade PMG, but there's only like 100 PMGs, and sometimes, depending on the color, there's only 10. So it's a rarity, scarcity, price versus grading. And we kind of talked about that a little bit with our manufactured rarity versus true rarity episode that we did not too long ago. So, I'm sure we can pull up some I've got a couple of names here I want to mention that just kind of we're going to look at some examples of that. But do you agree, or do you have a different kind of angle you want to look at this?
No, I agree with us. We've talked about this in some degrees over time about different, again, it all kind of boils down to that whole rookie talk type thing anyway. So we've kind of hammered this down to death a lot, like that. But your assessments are pretty spot on.
I think too, it boils down to kind of how you like to approach the hobby. The last couple episodes we've talked about that and how everybody does things differently. From my perspective, if it's a card I want to buy, and we just touched on this in the CM Punk episode, I liked that red parallel because it was a little bit more rare. It's a little bit different than just the base card. So if I'm going after, I'm going to do the carry and cross thing. If I'm going after him and I have the option of a, out of 5 or a gold or something like that out of the base card, I'm going to go with that because it's harder to find. You don't see it as much. So as a collector of his cards, that's what I'm going to go for. Now, on the flip side, a lot of times we've seen the base cards turn into commodity cards. So they may sell a lot quicker and they may go way up in value, but they also can come crashing down just as quick. But they're always being traded because that's like the base, the standard for that person's rookie card, as opposed to
which that definition shouldn't be thought of as the old pump and dump type of equation either.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. It's just that it's a different type of card, because if you've got the lower number parallel stuff, how can you pump that? I mean, you can, but there's only so many of them. So no matter when you sell it, it's going to probably be sought after no matter what.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, when I'm picking a card, that's kind of what I like to go with. Now, going back to the Jordan, the 86 Fleer is like, it's a base card, but it's also so iconic. And that's what we have to keep in mind when we're looking at a lot of the older wrestling stuff. John Cena, perfect example. That rookie card is, to my knowledge, he doesn't have any kind of like indie card when he was out in California or anything before that. So people know this card and that it's iconic. Now, is it going to be worth more than, say, some of his autos? In some cases it has been. In some cases I've seen a base card in like a 9 or an 8 or something actually outsell, a random top sticker auto or something. But then there are other times where like maybe a transcendent card has outsold a mid-grade John Cena rookie card. So it all depends on like, what your perspective is. Are you wanting to go after the rare, scarce, hard to find, or do you want what's iconic? I think, and you can have both, but I think that's something that people need to kind of figure out with this whole rookie card debate. And just because you have a rookie card, as the title states, doesn't always mean it's worth a lot. And just because a card's worth a lot doesn't mean it's the rookie.
Correct. Yeah, I just didn't understand, and maybe someone can educate us, or me specifically, because I'm stupid. It's just, is a rookie card always going to be like the money card to have, kind of stuff like that? And as you just stated, it's like that. That's not necessarily always true. So
yeah, I think the rookie card is always going to be the commodity card. So that's going to be like the gateway card, what people are looking at, something that's going to transact a lot. But again, when you get into some of this rare stuff, and you're just not going to see it. Okay, prime example. Let's talk about Roman Reigns. Everybody knows his rookie card, and it could be debatable because there's like some top slam attacks from that stuff, that
Sure.
time period too. Maybe they want to go back and say the FCW cards, although I don't see people talking about them. When
Which
I
is
see,
weird
yeah,
to me, actually.
when I see Roman cards, there's two things that come to mind. The first is his Topps rookie card, and those are still you can go buy one raw for like under $50 last time I checked. So, people know that, but they're not really putting a lot of attention on it. What I am seeing a lot of attention put on is different, not just gold, but different refractors and parallels of chrome, finest, some of those with autos.
And he himself is a rare, it's a weird thing. You don't see it with a lot of other wrestlers, a lot of other talents. It seems like with Roman stuff, it doesn't matter what it's numbered to, as long as it's some sort of a parallel refractor of some kind. It would be a superfractor, an X-fractor, refractor, whatever the hell they call them these days. It just seems like if it's numbered, I mean, I think we've even seen some weird anomalies where something numbered to 50 outsold something numbered to 10.
Yep. Yeah, and that's mostly
weird.
Topps products, because Topps has 50s and their golds are out of 50 and their blacks are out of 10. So yeah, it's a weird dynamic.
It's just because it's gold.
Yes.
And gold is always equated to, in the hobby, no matter what sport it is, as the color, the parallel you should have.
Yeah. And then it's like, if you look at some of the other Roman stuff, again, like the FCW stuff, like technically that's probably more rare than a lot of this stuff, and nobody's talking about it. So here we have an example which is a little bit opposite of what I was talking about, where they don't really want necessarily the commodity card, the rarest card. They're really not looking at either. They're looking at kind of the middle ground, and that seems to be what's moving a lot and selling and what's popular. There's some other wrestlers that I'm sure we can think of. Alexa Bliss. See, this is one where it seems like her one that says NXT. I don't remember the year. I'm sorry. That's like NXT first. It almost looks like that. The chrome, the refractors, the X-fractor, like any of the shiny stuff of that specific card, which I think is technically her rookie card, that always seems to do like, for the most part, better than any of her later stuff in parallels and numbered stuff. Obviously not counting one of ones, but
sure.
So there are names out there that I think just, I've been saying it forever, that people need to kind of dig and go out there, and no matter who you're collecting, or if you're trying to, quote, invest, whatever you're going after, to look at things that aren't the rookie card. There are, let's go back and look at sports again. If you could have the Wayne Gretzky, Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, obviously Mantle, like if you could line all of those up in your collection, you have an iconic collection, right? And for the most part, you're going to have their most of those cards are their most valuable cards. But not always, and especially in wrestling. Wrestling has seemed to see that completely change compared to sports cards. It's just it's a different world we're living in now, where we said it on the last episode, where like it seems like me and you are always picking, if we could make our card, we're not picking a gold refractor or a
Yeah.
whatever kind of parallel. We're going for like memorabilia, autographs, stuff like that. And
Which almost none of that stuff really seems to generate for big sales when it comes to
right.
As far as price goes. And I don't know if that price means that it's not popular or not. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting too that if you look at some of these sales, you could actually go out and buy historic pieces of ring memorabilia, like a full championship belt that was ring used, or a piece of not just a piece of a turnbuckle, but the actual turnbuckle, or a chair from Pontiac Silverdome, or whatever it is. Like if you look at the prices, a lot of this, some of them you could actually get for less than what you could get a gold out of 10 card. And like, it's just a perspective that people maybe like one or the other, but it's interesting when you stop and compare stuff like that and pricing.
I mean, it's always different strokes for different folks. I get it. But I just think it's interesting that in wrestling, it's a little bit different than other sports, I guess. And that, well, not I guess, I know that just because it's like whatever the market is deemed as a rookie card isn't necessarily going to be like the most valuable thing. And I just thought it was kind of interesting to maybe talk about that and find out, well, this is more popular, I like this better, kind of thing. Like what made people think that the Brock Lesnar card from Royal Rumble, first off, the first card in the set, why is that card more valuable than card number whatever it is, 77 in the set? Same set. And that's a great menacing pose of Brock Lesnar for that time. And why is that from the same year? Why is the Raw versus SmackDown set of Brock Lesnar not worth anything remotely compared to what the Royal Rumble set goes for?
Yeah, and then move that. What is this rookie card and that rookie card, and then jump over to Topps Chrome, and why are the Topps Chromes out of the gold 50s outselling a higher grade Brock Lesnar rookie card, like even in an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or something, like some of those.
I can understand, because if that's a base card you're talking about from that set, from a rookie card, there's obviously more of them out there than there's going to be the number to 50. So I get the numbers game on that respect. It's only a 50 of these, yet probably a couple thousand of those, maybe, a few thousand of those.
And maybe that's why that's where the grading comes into play, because the grading can then create that manufactured scarcity. So I think we mentioned this, but like, let's take Dexter Lumis. Like, would you rather have his like true rookie, whatever that is, more than I do, his whatever you wanted to deem the true rookie card that most people know as the Dexter Lumis rookie card in a PSA 10? Or would you rather have, a gold refractor, black refractor, some kind of relic auto?
I mean, again, I'm not partial to either once like that. I mean, if you want to go back rookie card, I'm going to go back to his TNA stuff with his Sam Shaw character. It's like that. I mean, it's surprising. I'm not even active. I don't own a single one of those cards because it's not of any interest to me. I know the character as Dexter. I don't go after that stuff. I do have it on my watch list for things, and I've seen some of the things up there. But I'm like, I'm more interested in going and getting a red, white, and blue Panini Prism card for $1 than I am spending 17, 18 bucks on an autograph card from TNA, from TriStar. That's just me on that. So if I had a choice, something like that, I don't know. I mean, money not being a factor, I'd probably go after something like, the 1 of 1 or, a gold, I guess. I mean, I've had my eye on several things like that. And that's like, I'm not willing to pay that kind of money right now. I'm having a lot of fun just doing base parallel type stuff. It's not, neither one is, well, I look at stuff and I go like, oh, number to 49 on this card, but this card not even numbered. So I have no idea how many exist.
Right.
The numbers do play a factor for me, I guess. So, and the scarcity level, I guess, but I'm not playing the hype of the price versus, popularity type thing either. It's like that. Loomis is not someone that really fits that category.
Well, and I guess it's all perspective. Like, if if I had a choice, I could have the 82 Hogan or the PMG. I'm going to take the PMG. It's not a rookie. It's not even a pack pullable card. It was issued from Upper Deck to their
Yeah, but you
employees.
gravitated towards just something that's
Right.
like that's meaningful to you and whatever it means to you.
Right.
So if there's some sort of like a sentimental or a nostalgic attachment to something, that probably has and very well could have more value than whatever the price may be of something else that the market is saying you got to have this because this is the thing to have.
Right.
So then it becomes about feelings and emotions, and at that point.
Well, and on the flip side, though, if I'm talking John Cena, I would actually rather have the John Cena rookie card than some of his autos or parallels. Or so it's like it's a reverse. That's why I guess it's a perspective thing. And there's different talent is going to have different perspective, I think, based on their cards, if that makes sense.
And our segment that we have, this is your card, also kind of plays into that for people's mentality, I guess, is like, well, I don't like this card because it's an action card. I don't even care that it's a first year card. It's his rookie card. It's a horrible looking card. I prefer his second year card because it's got this particular image that I like even more. And to me, that holds more value or more meaning to me. And I'd rather have those. I mean, I get that from a cosmetic standpoint too. That can play a big factor too, but I get it.
Yeah, just a lot of perspective. That's what this seems to be boiling down for me, because obviously the answer is to buy them all. But if you don't want to do that, or you're trying to, just, I think if you're a collector, you got to have them all. Like if you player collect, super collect, set collect, you obviously have to have what you have. But if you're just like picking what's my favorite card, I say you throw all of that out the window and pick your favorite card. Like, I don't care if it's a base card or if it's a 1 of 1, like whatever it is, you go after it.
Also, keep in mind, you don't have to pick a favorite. If it's something that you're a character you're into and you're invested into and you want to collect that person for whether it be a nostalgic reason from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or it's because you're a fan of them now and just watching the current product, just again, like we always say, just buy them all, buy whatever you can sell yet. I mean, I'm not buying all these Loomis, parallels right here from Prism Slayat just because I think it's a great action shot Slayat. It's a character that I'm collecting Slayat. Do I need to have like I have 5 red, white, and blues? Do I need to have 5 red, white, and blues? No, I don't. One would have been fine, but you know what? It's price played a factor to me. Like you can't really turn down $1 for a cards like that. Like I'll pay $1 for a Loomis cards like that any time. I get people now that are sending me messages all the time, like, hey, I have this autograph card. Well, I already have it, but depending on what kind of price you're asking for it, I might be interested in it still, I
do the same thing with the cross cards. I'm just hoarding them at this point.
Yeah, kind of what I'm doing. Like, do I need to have more than one of these? No, I don't. I mean, I have multiples in here somewhere. I mean, I have several, but it's just, I got a card in today. It's like that. I didn't have the groove version of, the new one, but I have several other of the same ones like that from the Revolution. But it's just, it's whatever you like. I let price dictate based on whatever my wallet allows me to. I'm not into the popularity thing, so I guess the topic kind of is irrelevant to me in that sense.
Well, that also needs to be tied in. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think that needs to be mentioned real quick too with social media. Like, just because there's some hobby talking heads or gatekeepers or new people, like it doesn't matter. If there's somebody out there and they're like, this is the card going to the moon, this is the rookie card, like I either think you do what I do and just let them think that and keep going on about your day, or it's good to have a constructive discussion. And I say constructive because we don't need to be out here yelling at each other, because I know I've kind of made a joke of it that in the last couple months we've had a lot of true wrestling card experts popping up on social media, but we know who the OGs are.
We're worried the last 20 years, guys.
Yeah. But, just again, buy what you want. Like going back to the Roman thing, like, okay, I've got like my personal collection of Roman. Like I've got the flagship rookie that most people want to consider that. I've got a couple of cool, like I just like the look of the color of the parallels. And then I have one gold auto that's a sticker auto from Topps from a couple of years ago. And I'm good. Like I don't feel like I have to buy any more of his cards. Like I have a good representation of him in the collection that I have now. Could I go buy more and go buy his FCW card? Sure. Could I cash out of everything and just move on? Sure. And that, we've talked about that in the last couple of episodes, just perspective, buying what you like, blocking out the noise. And, there are people out there talking that have good things to say. Just be a sponge, absorb what you want, get rid of the rest, and have fun.
Yeah, you learn from other people's conversations. You know, you might pick up a tidbit of information that you didn't know about before, and you can apply it towards your collection, whatever that may be. I do it now. Like I told you last year, when at the beginning of this year, I said I kind of want to be more like you in the sense that I go and listen to more different podcasts like that. I don't do it to the level that you'd probably appreciate, but I still listen to some stuff, and I'm finding useful information from it. And finding useful information makes me want to listen to other stuff. So it's sort of a growing process for me in 2022 to listen to things and get that different perspectives from people and apply it to whatever it is I'm collecting. So I don't suffer from the FOMO that I used to suffer from before because I know my lane. I stay in it. I'm also, it's nice that I have deeply engrossed in updating WTC as much as possible as
Yeah.
well. But you know, just kind of doing my thing of collecting Loomis and Angle stuff. I don't let people dictate how I collect. I don't let people dictate what I must collect and what's a rookie card or what's more valuable or what's just I must have kind of thing. I don't care how popular it is. I go after what I like because I like it, and I have other factors that determine how I want to buy things. So um, price versus popularity doesn't mean rookie to me, and it shouldn't mean rookie to anybody else. You just go out and you buy what you like, you collect what you like, you display it how you like, and there's no wrong way to do it. If you want to dump a lot of money on something because and it's not worth that, but you feel like I don't care. Like we've all overpaid for things before.
Sure.
And I think that sometimes we go, why did I do that? Other times we're like, I don't care. I wanted it. That's what I paid for it. I don't care. I wanted it.
Yep.
So price, popularity, I think I tend to lean more towards price to determine when I'm going to buy something or not. Obviously, that's the end all be all for me as far as what I'm going to buy, but doesn't mean rookie to me. I don't care if it's a rookie or not. I'm kind of collect them all if I can.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, and you said something too I want to touch on as we kind of close the show here. I keep talking about perspective, and you were talking about listening to content and taking what you could from that. That's what I want people to do with this show. When we say something, that doesn't mean you have to agree with it. What we're here to do is put different types of angles of how to look at cards, and maybe you agree with us on this show, but then you disagreed with us last show, and that's fine. Like we're not out here to say we're the kings, the experts, the know-alls, the end-all be-all of wrestling cards. Farthest thing from that. Again, I just want talk. The whole reason we did this content to begin with is to just have talking points to continually build the hobby, get more people interested, and get more people, questions answered, because maybe we spoke about a card that somebody didn't know about, and now all of a sudden that's their favorite card. That's exactly what we're here to do. So,
and we spark a conversation like that, where you and I are having a conversation. It's how we're really doing it. This whole thing is about having a conversation. We throw it up there. You watch and or listen to this, whatever it is you're doing, it's like that. And what we hope to have, what I've always wanted, is I want people to engage. I want them to come and say, you know what? I don't agree with you, Tony. I don't agree with you, Zhan. Or I think Zhan's got better points. Whatever the case may be, put your content, put your responses to it, so we know we're going to learn from you guys. And too, you guys are going to go out there and make something, like I wish I had a Mike the Cleaner on, long before Prism came out. So like that, I followed him on social media. I didn't really pay attention, and I kind of wish that I would have, because I would have had him on as a guest early before Panini Prism came out, and then kind of educate people like, this is my perspective. I've seen it all before. This is what's going to happen, and just let people kind of digest that and at least have an opportunity to go ahead and make the decisions. But I want people to listen to our conversations that we have and engage with us and tell us what they like, what they don't like. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us like, that's spot on, man. I mean, just engage so we can open discussion, dialogue, have a conversation, and we can all learn from it.
Tony, closing out, let everybody know where they can find you.
WrestlingTradingCards.com, folks. 20th anniversary this year. Everything can be found social media wise in the bottom of every page. Check us out on Top Rope Wrestling Con as well, coming out September 16th, 17th, Tampa, Florida. And then what else we got going out? National. I don't know when this is coming out, but when we record this, we're mere weeks away from National, and we will definitely have a wrestling presence there. I'm bummed you're not going to be there.
we'll see how Top Rope Con goes next year, because I know that you mentioned you may have it a second year, and I may have another reason to go there as well. So piggybacking, if I'm going to travel somewhere,
Yeah, I'm not your primary. I become your secondary reason to come there. It's like, I get it. So where can they all find you? Like nobody knows where to find Zhan.
At Zhan Warning on all social platforms, Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. That's the main hub of my content. Wrestling with Cards, the podcast. I kind of do those episodes as I have time. And you know how me and Tony have no time to do anything. I mean, sometimes we eat on episodes because we have no time. Sometimes we take naps on episodes because we don't have time to sleep. So we try to get through it as much as we can. But we do appreciate you guys listening today. Tony said it. Please engage. If you like this show, let us know on social media. Share it with a friend. Let other people on social media know, hey, you like it. Hey, you hate it. Hey, these guys are talking about wrestling cards. They don't know what they're talking about, but they're talking about wrestling cards. Go listen to them. Whatever it is, just let us know that the time that we're spending to record these is bringing you value, and just continuing to push the hobby forward. So please subscribe, whatever you're listening to this on. Again, share with a friend, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep collecting wrestling cards, no matter if it's a rookie card or a non-rookie card, no matter if it's $10,000 or 10 cents. Just keep having fun collecting wrestling cards. Enjoy. Until next week, we'll see you.